Hello everyone, this is Tim, SamY7, and I want to talk about something that, I don't know, I just had just kind of popped in my head, and I saw Esper did a video on the different GMing styles, different game styles, uh, and I wanted to talk about it. I've talked a lot about GM burnout, DM burnout, where the person running the game really puts their heart and soul into something, and sometimes they either work too hard or they don't feel appreciated or there's a various number of reasons why someone would burn out on RPG. And he had mentioned that hack and slash, which often it has a negative connotation to it. There's less story. Um, Sometimes there's less actually role playing your character, which I don't think has to be that way, but it's there. Um, Hack and slash is known for like more like old school games. I don't know, but hack and slash to define it, it's basically a play style where there's lots of action, there's lots of combat, and things like story, maybe your character's background, don't really affect the story that much. I don't know, but it definitely has a negative connotation, and I don't really think it should. I think as long as you know what kind of game you're getting into when you sit down to play, you have a different set of expectations. If you sit down to a table and you know that the GM said, you know what, I got burned out on my last campaign. I just want to run something that's easy. Um, we're just gonna have a typical dungeon crawl. There's a local town. Maybe there's some interesting places and ruins in the local area. You know, but the main focus of the game is going to be on the dungeon or wherever else adventure sites he has planned, uh, to basically cut down on the GM preparation because there's less choices that players can make in a dungeon. They can either go left, they can go right, straight. Maybe they go down a tunnel or uh, maybe they go down to the next level of the dungeon. And the reason I'm talking about this is a lot of people are very busy in their lives. They have jobs, uh, they have families, they have kids. Uh, Life can be pretty hectic at times. And to come up with sort of a gaming style that takes less time to prepare, I can see having a very big appeal. I talked to someone that did a very rules light BRP game, and they did it with a kind of an old school, flair and flavor. Uh, they did it really rules light. They basically just cut BRP down to its roots and just kind of even simplified things even further with house rules. And they would only play for an hour at a time. Now that might sound strange to a lot of us, but um, that's the time that they had when they didn't have to watch their kids, or maybe it was on a lunch break, and that's what they did. They would do a little hack and slash campaign when they had time in the middle of the day, and it just got me thinking that you know if you can't really find the time to role play, sitting down with like a simple hack and slash game would be kind of fun. It's not something I always do. I usually play games that are more story intensive or more traditional. Where it's a little bit of it. It's like half and half. Like there's story and then there's like the character involvement and action. Combat. And I usually try to just mix and match things. Um, and the parts that I have to worry about are the story and the setting. And I think I spend a lot of time worrying about the setting. Um, I'm going to be trying to run that Changeling uh, game in the near future. And I'm really stressing out a little bit about getting the setting right, getting all the details in there. And it just got me thinking that if I was running a hack and slash campaign, I could pretty much show up with, just the book, maybe a few encounters I have planned out, and just a map of the dungeon or whatever, or map of some ruins or some other adventure sites, and I'd be good to go. Especially with the old school rules that are a lot less, uh, they're not as heavy on the mechanics. So I pretty much know the rules back and forwards, just even with like one or two read throughs. But hack and slash kind of gets a bad rep. People that play, you think, oh, they're just playing a hack and slash campaign, or I don't want to play a hack and slash campaign. Now I'm not saying that you have to like them. As I've said, I usually like games that are more story intensive. I usually get into character, talking funny voices, but you can totally do that in a hack and slash campaign. I played in a Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 game that was kind of short lived, but it was using the Goodman Games adventures, which kind of say they have the old school feel, but with the new rules. And I think they've moved on to 4th edition now. But there are plenty of modules out there from Goodman Games if you're interested. But I had a lot of fun with it. I was playing, I think, if I remember right, an elven philosopher. I was a cleric, but I believed in the philosophy of war. So I used, The Art of War by Sun Tzu was kind of like that was my holy text for my character. And I had a lot of fun with that. And I kind of pushed that into the game. And the GM really appreciated that. He liked the way that I did that. And I don't know, so I was like a cleric. I had like a two-handed, great sword, something like that. It was a lot of fun. And I played that kind of like reserved, calm character most of the time. But when combat would come out, I would flip the coin or flip the switch. So when someone says hack and slash campaign or hack and slash session, give it a chance. If you're not used to that play style, just give it a shot. Just see what happens. If you do play a lot of hack and slash campaigns, I can understand not wanting to do them. Too much of anything is really a bad thing. But for me, it's a nice different path to go down every once in a while. Just to kind of blow off some steam. In a way, they're just like the first person RPG games that are out there. Even like the single shooters, those kind of games. Except you're playing with people, you're playing with your friends. It's more social, and you can still twist and do things that you wouldn't normally. You can interact with the setting in various ways. And if you have a fun GM, you really can do just about anything. So, I don't know. If a hack and slash game comes up, or if you're even, I usually run games. And, the idea of running one is kind of a nice idea just because of the low game prep. I think, another reasons why like a hack and slash campaign would be fun. I forgot how much fun it was to stalk a dungeon randomly with tables. It's almost like a game in and of itself while you're stalking the dungeon. What magic items are there, what traps. And of course, there's a lot of things that give the GM still that creative license to put interesting things in the different rooms, interesting encounters. But I don't know, I forgot how much fun it was to just sit down and roll dice, plot it out, and then just think how the players are going to react to it. So I normally like games that have more story, or story and action, half and half. But I think in my past I've kind of been, I don't know what the word is, I've kind of been antagonistic towards hack and slash games and campaigns, and I don't know if that really was merited. I don't know. Just a random thought I had. Just sitting here thinking about all the prep work that I do, and sometimes it goes unused. If I try to start a game or run a game, and I have all these interesting and cool ideas, and I can't snag players into playing, I've really kind of wasted a lot of time. And a hack and slash campaign just makes me think that I wouldn't have to spend all that time working on things. I don't know, just a random thought today. Have a good one, guys.